watching this, your zero G stopped working, or you're a vacuum technician helping somebody else out. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. And the first always is to check the hose for blockages. And if you're new for the channel, welcome to Performance Reviews. Please like, subscribe, comment below. And a big thank you to our Patreons who help make videos like this possible. So we are going to first take apart the nozzle, and then we'll do a separate video on the body of the cleaner. Nozzle's nice and simple. Everything is Phillips. Oddly enough, all the screws are on a slant. But they're all Phillips number 2. Easy to get to. If they all fall out. Nope. These might have to come out a little bit more. This one. There we go. Alright, let's see what's inside here. So the first thing I noticed, these nice metal grommets where the screws all go into. It's really a nice attention to detail. The detent looks like it's interchangeable by itself, so that's cool. I don't see a molding mark or anything of what kind of plastic this is. I would guess ABS though, if I had to guess on that. Let's see who made the motor. And oh, Cinderson. So that's a motor company we're not familiar with. You have a geared belt. That's really a nice touch. Made by Gates, of course. Curious if that's available. What is this thing under here? Well, I think those are just weights on that part. The neck has some metal grommets. Again, very nice construction, how all this is done. Take a look at the brush roller. The brush roller screws, if it will focus, they have lock washers. That's extremely nice considering the amount of vibration that those screws will have. Now, all the screws on this power head are on a slant. That's kind of a weird thing, not necessarily a bad thing. The brush roller itself has metal end caps, keep it from melting. And the shaft goes all, because I can't turn these, I can tell the shaft goes all the way through. So there is a metal core to this. That's kind of cool. The bearings do not come open for service from what I can tell. So I don't like that, but everything else comes apart very simple in here. There's nothing complicated going on, which means anybody's going to be able to work on this with any 2 cents. You have your circuit board, your overload protector right there. Everything's labeled with quick releases. Nothing is hardwired, so no wire nuts are required. Really like the looks of all this, how this is put together. A very simple power head. Now, I did use this for about a year, and I gave it some rough use, and we saw a little bit of a hair build up on the motor shaft and hair build up here. I don't see any place where the motor would be self-vacuuming. A lot of times the vacuum actually splits off and cleans out this area. I don't see that. I do see ventilation where the motor is cooling itself. So what's happening, I think, is debris, why this goes back and forth, gets rubbed in there. So that means this thing's probably going to need to be serviced every 1 to 2 years, just by what's packed in here. But again, everything else looks fairly high quality, especially for as new of design and where this is made, being made in China. All this looks really good for China. So let's go ahead and clean this up. First thing I'm going to do is bump the camera a whole bunch of times, so excuse me. Central vacuums. I don't really see a reason to break this down and wash this like I sometimes do. This is all going to wipe clean really nicely, I think. Just fold a 4-9 and a toothbrush. Yeah, that all just came clean. Nothing's sticking. I expected that. I've even though I've abused this at some friends' houses, this is really nothing. Now, what's cool about this, as you can see, the suction channels get sucked through, basically go down from the edge cleaning on there. So that's kind of cool. Clean the crevices. Set that aside. Huh. Now, full disclosure, in my testing, I haven't always used it with the canister attached. I actually used it with my central vacuum attached. Because my house has a central vacuum, it's kind of cool. It's the same fitting. All right, just clean the hair off there. Suspect that to be when I clean that apartment, that probably came from that. So that came right clean, not too complicated. Again, if you really use this, this is going to build up, so you're going to have to keep this clean. We do have dual ball bearing construction, which I like. A lot of hair buildup on there, a lot more than I expected. What's interesting is that this is a separate piece and actually looks like the gear drive would come out by itself. At home, I'm what you call a professional. Not responsible if you hurt yourself or mess up your machine. Well, let's clean that brush roller off. That looks much better now. So I cleaned the brush roller up the best I can. We're going to put it back in. Maybe give it one more wipe down. And let's soap the belt as you always. You can do this while the machine's running if that's convenient too, but it's not easy to do the way this one's made. So there's only one way this brush roller goes in. It's kind of a cool little thing. The black screws go towards the front on this, which is very, very cool. Again, they have, all these screws seem to have these lock washers on them. Let's go ahead and tighten everything down. Again, all these are going in on a slant. Nothing is done straight up and down. So keep that in mind when you're putting this together. Belt's nice and tensioned. Just going to check all the torque by hand. Yeah. Alright, that was the right setting on the drill. I do want to just check the torque on the motor. Make sure all those are in place and they haven't moved. Nope, nothing has moved. Everything has washers. This is such a good little nozzle for being made in China. It really is an example of, if you want the Chinese to make something good, they will. This part comes off, so when you put this back on, you just got to be kind of mindful where that goes on there. And then you got these tabs which are going to go in here. And that's just going to rock on, basically. Or maybe that's going to slide on. Yeah, it looks like this one's going to slide on because everything's on a slant. That's very weird. All right. Everything looks to be in place. Make sure everything's clipped in. That moves. So I think we're good in terms of that. Oh, there is... I should show this real quick because it's really cool. So if I pull that out, you can pull the floor squeegee out and then you can clean him up as well on the wheel or replace him. Really cool feature. So again, we're gonna so long. I wouldn't want to have to do this by hand. So this just slides. You can clean that out first if you want. That's just going to slide in there very nicely. And our last little screw just goes on here to keep it from coming out. There we go. So that is free to move left and right. So you don't actually have to take it out if you want to remove the screws, which is kind of cool. So yeah, everything else is good and straightforward on this. One last wipe down. This pearl paint is really cool. The silver color isn't as cool that these come in, I think. I think the white paint is really cool. Now if you have some scuffs or something, as everybody knows, I have some magic solution for that. They'll take all these scuffs right off. And you can see that those are just going to come right off for me. So we'll clean that up as well. So, as always, please like, subscribe, share this video. Big thank you to our Patreon supporters. And if you're not familiar with Patreon, go on over to the link here and you can get exclusive content. We do giveaways, things like that. A few dollars a month really helps keep this channel going. Have a wonderful day.